And welcome back to the First and Goal podcast. My name is Lewis. Next to me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Laraib, and we are here to break down Week 8 of the NFL season. We are approaching the midpoint of this exciting NFL season with a full 16 games or 15. We did already break down Thursday Night Football, so if you want to go see that, go check it out in our last episode. It was a really fun episode. But we're here basically at the midpoint of the NFL season. Lots of interesting games to talk about for this upcoming week. Laraib, how are you feeling entering week 8?
I'm feeling great. I'm up 4-3 in the picks. This could be a huge week for me to get a commanding lead halfway through the season. So I'm ready to get right into it, Lewis. And for our first game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. The Bengals are favored at home by 3 points. And this is just two teams, right, Lewis? One in the AFC, one in the NFC, whose season has kind of been, lower than what we might have expected, especially for the Eagles. I know they're sitting at 4-2, but you just haven't seen them, those flashes what we expected, especially of this roster. And then on the other side, you have the Bengals who, were really slow to start that game against the Browns last week, minus a huge kickoff. And then, those early losses in the season that we just were not expecting. And so now we're a little bit deeper in the season. Now they're playing a little bit better. But who are you leaning in this game?
Laraib, this might surprise you, but I am leaning the road team, the Philadelphia Eagles, in this
I mean,
matchup.
that's just another free point for me on the picks. So
Listen, Laraib, I don't think this Cincinnati defense has faced a legitimate rushing attack since their game against Baltimore, where Derrick Henry got loose late. And it's just been Carolina. They've been getting fat and happy off these terrible offenses the past few weeks. And they're sitting there like, hey, we're back. We're the Bengals, baby. Look at us. No, you played the Browns, you played the Panthers, and that's what happens to you. And now you have this Philly team who just came off their most impressive win in the entire season against the Giants. And getting a lot of their offensive pieces back. AJ Brown back, D. Smitty back from his concussion, and Saquon, still in full swing, leading the league in rushing yards so far. And I don't think that's going to change against Cincinnati here. So I really like the matchup there. And for the defensive side, I think they're playing better. It's a young secondary who had their best game of the season last week, now albeit against Daniel freaking Jones. But I think if they're able to get pressure on Joe Burrow, this Cincinnati run game isn't reliable enough for me to really trust them. And I know I'm not a big Nick Sirianni fan, but I trust in the talent. And I think Jalen Hurts finally had a really good game last week. His first time having a really good game in a while. I think he builds on that performance. Give me the Eagles on the road.
talk about a team who's gotten fat and happy off their free wins. This is a Eagles team who also got to beat up on the Browns, but they didn't beat up on them, Lewis. That was a one possession
Oh, the
game
Bengals
late
didn't
into the
beat up on
game.
them either.
And
They
then
lost their
last week
starting
they get to play
quarterback.
Daniel Jones and that sorry ass offensive line. They sacked Daniel Jones, 6-7 times, and they're thinking, yeah, or this Eagles defense is back where it's supposed to be. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are about to expose that sorry ass secondary with Darius Slade and Quinyon Mitchell and the white cornerback, the white savior Cooper DeJean out there in the secondary. They're going to be taking the top off of that defense at home. You are not you're underestimating what Zach Moss and Chase Brown have been doing for this rushing attack. Chase Brown slowly taking over that backfield. And I just trust Joe Burrow at home in this spot with his two wide receivers out there. I think they're going to dominate. You know how many yards, Devontae Smith, your guy, had last week?
At least like -2, huh?
Yeah, somewhere in the negative. We had more receiving yards combined than Devontae Smith last week. I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. Two defense who like to give up a lot of points, and I just trust in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase a little bit more. Give me the Bengals 33-30.
No, I think this is a blowout, Laraib. I really do. I think the Bengals are going to be coming from behind. A lot of mistakes. Joe Burrow has been playing a better mistake-free football. I think that changes against the aggressive Vic Fangio scheme, who feasts on quarterbacks like this. And I think that Philadelphia Eagles go into Cincinnati and pull off a huge statement win for their season to go 5-2. Give me the Eagles 33 to Bengals 20 in this matchup, Laraib. But let's go ahead now and move to your favorite team, the Buffalo Bills, traveling to Seattle to face the Seahawks. Seahawks are 3-point underdogs in this matchup, despite being at home, Laraib. That's a little crazy in my opinion. Do you think Seattle should be the favorite?
Oh, most definitely not. A quality win last week against the Falcons, but these are
Really
just two
quality.
teams who are on, just completely different levels. We're talking about a Bills team who is, eyeing for a Super Bowl and a Seahawks team that's going to be happy in making the playoffs. Now, that mini bye week after playing on Thursday night was a huge like turn for the Seahawks team and getting guys back, getting a full week of. Are you going to do this the whole episode or what? Huh?
What? What?
Huh?
Uh, I'm
You had a
reading.
nice, little mini bye, able to get some guys ready for their Falcons game. Now you're back at home, but you're just facing a different team in the Bills. Their rushing attack, bringing in Amari Cooper. I think 3 points might be a little disrespectful towards the Bills.
The only thing that scares me is I still don't love this Buffalo defense. I mean, it's like, oh, they got back on track because they beat up on the Jets and the Titans the past 2 weeks. Whereas this Seattle offense has been really solid all season long. They had a little bit of a hiccup in that game against the Giants at home. But, as far as just, they getting Kenneth Walker back really helps them, especially against this Buffalo defense. And, back, Buffalo traveling all the way from Buffalo to Seattle, one of the biggest flights in the country, and the 12th man out there, Laraib, I think you know where I'm leaning this one. Give me the Seahawks. Give me the Seattle Seahawks. I think Kenneth Walker has an outstanding game. And it's going to be underrated. I think DK Metcalf a little banged up in this one. So give me a lot of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett across the middle. And I really do think that they can exploit this Buffalo defense. Josh Allen hasn't really had that disaster of an uh-oh game yet. And maybe traveling across the country to Seattle, I don't feel great about the matchup. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think Josh Allen's going to get his, but I trust more in the offensive talent of Seattle at home against this defense. Not necessarily more, but at the same plane. And I'm going to give the nod to Seattle in this one, Larob. Give me the Seahawks 37 to Buffalo 34 in an awesome, awesome game.
I agree with you. This is gonna be a high scoring game, but when it comes down to the end of it, it depends on who you trust more. And I cannot put any trust in that
Jason
Seahawks
Myers.
defense. Reek Willen, who's been out with a mysterious injury the past 3 or 4 weeks, not playing out there. The Seahawks recently traded for Ernest Jones, linebacker from the Titans. He probably won't go this week, being traded so soon.
I think so.
And then besides that, this is just a defense. Until I see them stop a team like the Bills, then I can put some more trust in them. Gino's definitely had some of his ugly turnovers early on this season with some bad picks. And so I mean, I agree with you. If they can get this run game going with Kenneth Walker, he is that X factor in this one. But I just, put more trust in Josh Allen. I like the Bills 33, Seahawks 27.
All right, well, let's move on to another or the 3 o'clock window. A game that was very exciting going into it, but now a little less depending on some injuries. But we have Chicago traveling to Washington. Judging by the line in this one, it seems like Jaden Daniels is not set to go in this one, Laura. So Washington is the 3-point home dog. They still have talent. They still have good rushing game. They still have some talented defensive pieces. Can Washington win this game with Marcus Mariota and a quarterback?
It's going to come through his ability to. No, they can't. No, this
No,
is not
no.
going to happen. This Bears defense coming off a bye, I think they're a top 5 unit in the NFL the way they've been playing. They've just been shutting down their opponents, making their opposing quarterbacks see ghost on the field. Now, this is a great matchup between, number 1 overall picks. And so maybe we're in for something crazy. I just don't think, the guy in Chicago is going to have more mistakes than the guy in Washington. And that defense is just going to be an X factor coming off a bye. I think the Bears being disrespected and only -3.
I wouldn't say disrespected, but I do agree with you. I think this is a very talented Bears defense, top 5 in the league. And I think what they do just in the middle of the field, I really like the interior of that defensive line. And honestly, their safety is Jaquan Brisker, Tyreek Stevenson, and the nickel have been doing a really good job in run contain, safety blitzes, D-back, defensive back blitzes, excuse me. And really causing a lot of, Matt Eberflus, to his credit, I know he's not the sexiest option to head coach, especially when you have a guy like Caleb Williams as the star new rookie sensation, but he's done a very good job defensively. And this was the case last year as well, when they won 7 games and they had a top 10 defense towards the end of the season, and he's building his thing. So it's been really cool to see that. And then this offense just keeps evolving week after week. And if no Jaden Daniels on the other sideline, I'm sorry, but this is a Commanders team that is just not going to be able to hold up. I know Mariota looked great against the Panthers, but I think you can say that about every single quarterback that has played, will play, and is playing the Panthers. So give me the Bears in this one. I think a great defensive effort. I'm going to go Bears 23 to Washington 10.
And I'm going to go Bears 27-17 in a huge win as that NFC North battle continues to go on. But let's go ahead and move on to our last highlighted game, Lewis. We have the Dallas Cowboys coming off a bye, traveling to San Francisco to play the 49ers, and the 49ers favored at home by a whole 4 points. And a team who's been riddled with injuries, Lewis. We talk about guys like Brandon Ayuk, who was, feared to have torn his ACL out for the season. Christian McCaffrey still, tendonitis in both legs. Maybe looking at a week 10 return for him. And now they're at home after getting blown out by the Chiefs last week. What does this 49ers team need to do to win this game against the Cowboys?
They need to do what they've always done against the Cowboys, and that's run the damn ball, control possession, and never really let this Dallas offense into the game. Get an early start, build on that lead with your running game, and don't allow this Dallas offense to really get going until it's too little too late. And I just don't think that's going to happen in this ball game, Rob. I don't think the 49ers have that offensive punch to throw that first haymaker. I think it's going to be a long, tedious drive. And with guys like Eric Kendricks and Micah Parsons set to come back this week against, the 49ers coming off a bye week, Dak, getting more reps with Mike McCarthy, CeeDee Lamb, these guys who just are trying, been so distracted with everything early on in the season, had a full week to settle down, get prepared, and now looking forward to this matchup. I think this has just been the monkey on Dak's back for the longest time. And he's really been trying to get it off, beating San Francisco, beating Kyle Shanahan. And it's not been like all these games are just utter blowouts. They don't even belong in the same field. They've had close games. It's just that it always feels like it's too little too late for Dallas. If they're able to get a big lead to start this game and keep this 49ers offense, which, let's be honest, with all the injuries to their skill position guys, it's going to be an extremely uphill battle for them to really force a lot of points on that side of the ball. And if Micah Parsons and Eric Kendricks can come back and make an influence in this game, I think Dallas can finally get this win and shove the 49ers outside the playoff picture in the NFC to 3-5. Give me the Dallas Cowboys, Laraib. Apparently, it's only $40 for a stadium facility or the facility tour for the Dallas Cowboys practice facility. I know, that's crazy, right? Anywho, they say it's very helpful for the team. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys 31 to San Francisco 26.
And I'm going completely the other way. I like the 49ers a lot. You can tell me Brandon Ayuk is going to be out for the rest of the season.
He is.
You could tell me that again. But Jordan Mason is still going to be playing. George Kittle's going to be playing. Juwan Jennings is going to be playing. Deebo Samuel is going to be playing. I think they run all over this damn Cowboys team. What we talked about all season long, Lewis, them not being able to control the line of scrimmage offensively or defensively. We saw a team like the Steelers run all over them. We saw a team like the Saints run all over them. This is what the 49ers are going to do this game. They're going to run all over them. And then you're telling me this Cowboys team is going to get out to a huge lead. And then what are they going to do? They're going to start running the ball and tune out the clock with Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think so.
Rico Dowdle.
Juwan Jennings, he's been filling up that Brandon Ayuk role and Deebo Samuel role, most of the season already. I think he continues to have that great connection with Brock Purdy. And to win the close game, I'm going to go 49ers 27-24.
You bring up some interesting points there, Laraib. I just think they're the wrong points. But it's going to be a very exciting Sunday night football game to watch indeed. Let's go ahead and let's get to the final 11 games on this slate, Laraib. Starting with my New Orleans Saints traveling to Los Angeles in the 3 o'clock slate. Probably should have pushed this one later, but who cares? Chargers favored by 7 at home. Spencer Rattler will get the start again. Derek Carr unlikely to get the green light in this one. So without Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler for the 3rd week in a row, are the Saints going to win?
In no world do I see the Saints winning this one. Even if you told me Derek Carr and Chris Olave were going to be back for this game, it still would not help out on the lines, right? On the offensive line.
Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, and Cesar Ruiz all practice this week.
That's fantastic. But that doesn't help them on the defensive side of the ball. We saw
No.
Javonte Williams run all over them. Coming off this is still going to be a short week for the Chargers, but coming off
Hmm.
of, an embarrassing loss on Monday Night Football, I think they really ground and pound the ball in your Saints, and they win in this one big.
Did we not come off an embarrassing loss? And we had more time to prepare.
But
You're
y'all's
just
was
gonna
extra
discount that?
embarrassing,
You're just gonna discount that? I mean,
So it's like
that's
a one
literally what you
possession game,
said.
losing to like an NFC opponent versus losing, like a 20 point,
To an out
30 point
of
game
conference opponent
to the
opponent
Broncos. And
with more time to
When
rest.
Sean Payton came home and Drew Brees was
Yeah,
leading his
I'm
team.
going with the Chargers. I'm gonna go with the
Okay.
Chargers
Okay.
20-26 to Saints 13. Next game up, we have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Cleveland. Did you know the Ravens were actually they started in Cleveland and then they moved to Baltimore? I don't think you knew that. Uh, Baltimore is favored by 8.5 points on the road. I am picking the Ravens to win. Even though Jameis Winston getting the start for the Browns this week, very exciting. And I think honestly, the Browns could cover in this matchup. I think it could be a closer game. I'm going to go Ravens 24 to Browns 20.
I completely disagree. I think the Browns, Jameis Winston going back in, but he's a guy who's known for being turnover prone against this Ravens secondary, who's
Joe
very
Flacco was.
opportunistic, I might say. I think Jameis Winston gets a second too long in the pocket from that sorry pass rush of the Ravens and starts throwing ducks out there to Jerry
Oh.
Jeudy and Elijah Moore. Give me the Ravens 30-20.
All right, Laura, let's go to the next game. We have the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Lions. Lions, probably the biggest favorite of the season, I think. 11.5 point favorites. I'm going with the Lions. This one, I'm going Lions 31 to Tennessee 13.
I'm going Lions 33-10.
All right, next game up, we have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Miami. Tua believed to be back as the starter in this one, and that is indicated in the spread as Miami is a 3.5 point favorite. Rob, I think I know where you're leaning in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona. I mean, you can tell me Tua's come back into the lineup, but does that help them at all on the defensive side of the ball, where they've been awful? I don't think so. Maybe if he comes back in, takes another big hit without the Guardian cap on, maybe he's out for this
Personal
game too.
choice.
So I think the Cardinals, they're on a short week, but I still like their roster better. I think if they ground and pound the ball, they're a good shot of winning this game. Give me the Cardinals 20-20.
Rob, you're going to be upset with me, but maybe you'll be happy. I'm also going the Cardinals in this game. I could play the numbers and go against you because clearly this is a pick that you're going out on. But this Miami team is not good. Their roster is not good, even though I think someone does believe in them. I was talking to the other day, thinks they could still make a playoff push, but losing to the Cardinals would really, I don't know. I don't know where that person's head's at. But I'm going with the Cardinals because I just think the Cardinals are the better team. They've been playing better football even when Tua was playing quarterback. So I'm going with the Cardinals here on the road. Am I a little scared about the travel and the short week? Yes, but my gut's telling me Cardinals. I'm going Cards. Next noon game, we have the New York Jets going to New England. A divisional rematch this early in the year. Obviously, the Jets won the first game on Thursday Night Football. Now they play in New England. Jets 7 point favorites on the road after losing 4 straight. Did they finally get this ship turned around, Rob?
Oh, most definitely. This Patriots team, bottom three roster in the
Awful.
NFL. And I mean, there's no excuse for the Jets if they lose this game. Give me the Jets 27-17.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about this Patriots team besides a lot of work needs to be done. But hey, let's get some fun Drake May in this game. I'm going to go with the Jets 28 to Patriots 13. Next game up, we have the Falcons traveling to Tampa. Falcons only 2.5 point favorites on the road after beating Tampa earlier in the season, obviously in that overtime thriller. Now the Buccaneers minus Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, two of the best pieces on their team. I'm leaning Falcons in this matchup, Laraib. I just think that they sweep the series. I think it was a big emotional letdown on that Monday night for Tampa. Now then to, face the team that had your other big emotional letdown loss of the year. I think it's going to be a lot, and I don't think they're going to be able to pull it out. So I'm going with Atlanta 33 to Tampa 23.
Yeah, it's just gonna be hard to imagine how the Bucks move the ball at well against this Falcons team with two of their top two guys out. And so I like the Falcons big in this one, 30-17.
All right, next one up, we have the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Jags to face Jacksonville. Green Bay is a 4-point favorite in this ball game, and I love Green Bay here. I think, Jacksonville not getting any rest after the London trip really hurts them in this one, because you'd say, oh, Green Bay, that's not a great travel going from, Green Bay to Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville's coming back from London, and on American soil is where they have not been a very good team. And Green Bay, they've been really playing well recently, minus a few Jordan Love turnovers. This Jacksonville defense is the worst against the pass. And I think Jordan Love's going to have a bombs away day. Not a lot of Jaden Reed, but expect a lot of Romeo Dobbs in this matchup. I am going to pick the Packers 36 to Jaguars 20.
Yeah, this is going to be a coaching mismatch in this one. I think Matt LaFleur is just going to embarrass the hell out of Doug Peterson. This might be the last time we see him in on the Jaguars sideline. Give me the Packers 30-17.
All right, next one up, another divisional matchup. We have the Colts traveling to Houston to face the Texans. Another rematch. Obviously, the Texans won a very close one in week one, 2-point win. Now they go, back home against the Colts. Texans favored by 5 points here. Who are you leaning in?
I got to go Texans. I mean, the Colts we were talking about on Tuesday, just a team that I'm very out on. Anthony Richardson, man, he might need another 2, 3, 4 years to finally start developing properly. And this Texans team, after close win last or close loss last week, I think they really go back to grounding and pounding again with Joe Mixon. They pick up a huge statement victory right here, 30-17.
Yeah, Laura, I agree with you. I just think that Anthony Richardson is clearly not the answer for the Colts, but they need to go with him regardless. And against this pass rush, he did have his best game of the year in week one against this Houston team. But I think, facing a guy like Anthony Richardson for a second time when you have more tape on him and know what to expect, I think a defense could really key on his weaknesses and really exploit him. So I do expect Houston to win this game and win it big. I'm going Houston 33 to Colts 7 in this ball game, Laraib.
Go.
And
Well, let's go
then,
ahead and move on.
no, you go. I'm
Well,
kidding.
let's go ahead and move on to another great game. The Carolina Panthers putting
Super Bowl
in
rematch.
Bryce Young is back in as the starting quarterback after Andy Dalton
From
injures
10
his
years ago.
thumb in a car accident. Broncos are favored by 10 points, and I think that's might be the most disrespectful line of the entire week. This Broncos defense has been playing crazy football, and Bo Nix, maybe not the best rookie quarterback, but he's shown you that he can move out of the pocket and maybe not throw the ball deep, but hit those short routes. And so, give me the Broncos in this one, 27-7.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with the Broncos as well. I just think this is a mismatch on both sides of the ball. Expect Javonte Williams to have another monster game building off the performance he had last week against the mighty Saints defense. So I am picking the Broncos to win 23-7. Next game up, another divisional matchup. I'm going to keep saying this. The Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Las Vegas to play the team that beat them last. Yes, the Chiefs have won 11 straight games, looking to make it 12 here against the Raiders, who were the last team to beat them on Christmas Day last year. And there's been a lot of chirping from this Raiders team and a lot of winning from this Chiefs team. And I think it's going to continue. I think a lot of chirping from the Raiders and a lot of winning from the Chiefs. Chiefs best team in football, picking up DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he does much in this game. Do you know if he's suiting up in this game,
I
Laura?
think his quote was, "Why not?"
Why not?
So,
Yeah, it's the Raiders.
so
Why not? Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs 31-10.
yeah, and I'm going with the Chiefs 30-10.
All right, Rob, one last game to hit Monday Night Football. Monday night. We have the New York Giants traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. Pittsburgh 6-point favorites at home. I just think this is a mismatch. No Andrew Thomas is one of the biggest losses in the NFL all season long for how valuable he was to really keeping this entire Giants offense together. And I think TJ Watt in this pass rush from the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to do numbers on this Giants offense. And hey, let Russ cook. Let's see what he does for another week. Give me the Steelers 24-10.
Yeah, I think TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, they're just going to tee off.
Herbig.
just going to tee off on Daniel Dimes and just embarrass this team on national football. Give me the Steelers 30-17.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for all the games for that week 8 slate. But before we go, we're going to do our locks, best bet, and upset of the week. Starting with your upset, I had the first selection, so I am choosing the Dallas Cowboys as my upset. Obviously, they have not had a lot of success against the 49ers team, but if there's any time to get this 49ers team, it's now. All the injuries, all the bad play from guys like Brock Purdy and then Deebo Samuel, we don't know what's going to go on with him. I love this pick. Give me Dallas in this one.
And for my upset, I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals, a team that you also picked to beat the Miami Dolphins. I think the Cardinals are just you picked the Cardinals, by the way, just in case you forgot. The team you picked, but I think they're just in a better spot to beat this awful Dolphins team, given the Cardinals is my upset.
That's a great pick, Laraib. Let's go to our locks of the week. You had the first pick. Who'd you lock up?
I love Houston coming back home after a close game, losing to losing to the Packers. I think they just outclassed this Colts team on both sides of the ball. Huge win for the Texans on Sunday.
And my lock is the Green Bay Packers. I think it's going to be a complete and utter aerial mismatch. The worst passing defense against one of the best young, bright passers in the entire NFL. Give me Green Bay to be my lock of the week. And finally, our best bets of the week. I've been getting a little colder recently after my hot start to the year, but I think I'm going to get it right back. No more over-unders. We're going with the Philadelphia Eagles +3. Yes, that is my best bet. I'm going against you for my best bet. That's how confident I am in this Eagles team in this matchup. Give me +3 on the road. Who's going to a Cincinnati game? Imagine going to like Erie, Pennsylvania, like that part of the country. I'm going with Philly +3 as my best bet.
And if you want to lose money, you can go ahead and tail loose. If you want to make some money, give me the Falcons by
Go
two and
book
a
a
half
plane
points.
ticket to Erie.
Give me Falcons by 2.5 points. I think they're in a good spot here, facing a Buccaneers team who are without their two best options. I think 3 points is a good spot.
All right, Laurent, well, that's going to do it for our week 8 predictions. Thank you so much for made it to this point in the video, and a huge reaction episode coming on Tuesday, our mid-season award show. We're doing a ton of cool stuff for that, so make sure you check out that episode next week. And then we'll be back here going for the rest of the season. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of very interesting games on the slate. And even if some games don't seem exciting, it's the NFL. It's the gift that always delivers, and it will deliver again. So, Laurent, anything you want to say before we head out of here?
No, I think that's the First and Go podcast signing off.
Peace.